I don't even know what to call half these loops I come up with. But they're really just sort of like these hook loops, you know. There's got to be an interlude at some point. There's got to be a change. I got to set up bars and measures and shit later. After I get, I get most of the sounds down. I do it avant-garde, I guess is the term. I kind of prefer it that way too. I kind of prefer just doing the beats myself and getting the timing. And if it's not right, just keep trying and learn how to do it live. Fuck it, do it live. Oh shit. Is it 8 seconds already? Damn it. Demonetized. I rode the bull and lost. Alright, well. Yeah, fuck with the bull, you get the horns. I just got demonetized for swearing too soon in my video. Or at all. But I guess that's the thing. I have to tamp down the language. Tamp down the language. Yeah, people don't like that shit. Oop. See what I'm saying, man? It's hard to stop. Freedom of speech is hard to give up. It's hard to do. I mean, once you're hooked on freedom of speech, it's hard to kick it. Yeah, it's hard to kick that habit. So here we are, face to face. I am not a silver spoon. Let me see here. You could see by the video that's here, and you can see by what's up on the screen. I don't know. Some people might be triggered. Are you triggered? Does this trigger people to see these two terms so closely together? Does that... Oh, I can't do that either. I shouldn't do those motions. I can't do hand motions like that. That was terrible. I'll admit that was bad optics. But, yeah, let's read it. So today is the state of will. Got my funky state house out. I got to make more state houses. I got to get back up on Midjourney and make me some more state houses, maybe for all 50 states. And they could just be the 50 states inside Will's brain. And I'll just be like this magical nobody dictator that sort of pushes policy that fixes everything. Oh gosh, I didn't put the original thing in there. I gotta change the description. What was yesterday? See, it was perfect. I got a perfect description from the other one. Watch. It was, where's it at? It's the video. And it's in the description. Yeah, just a fictional world where a total nobody tells everybody what to do and it works. So I gotta copy that. See what I'm doing. Yeah, I fucked that up on my I do it live. I think at some point people will appreciate this this basically what we say what you call what is it, the artisan, so like an artisan approach to media, where it's just like you get to see me put it together and see the art happen right in front of you. And I think at some point people are going to appreciate that much more. When I first got into restaurants, I worked at a Italian restaurant, and the guy that worked there, the Italian guy that like started the whole place and had another place. Either way, long story short, the pizza thing was, I was told to make the pizzas kind of messy. You know what I mean? So you don't want it to be perfect. Yeah, I'm not trying to appropriate. I'm sorry. He had an accent. Yeah, you don't want it to be perfect. You want it to be a little, yeah, you want to purposely maybe do a few things to make it look authentic. So that authentic Italian pizza isn't perfect looking like at some Domino's pizza. You know what I mean? He didn't want that product. I was told not to make, perfect pizzas. So did I copy that? I got to get that into my description. Whoops. Whoops. Here's the state of will. I got Guess I can. I don't know why I'd give, quote unquote. There you go. I'll add that onto there. Great. Now maybe I should probably drop the link again, like delete it and relink it. And let's do that. Or I just post another link. Nobody even shows up here, I guess. Get in. Let's share this again. So it actually shows up with the correct text underneath the I got some people that follow this page particularly. I just took all of the friends off of this page so that they're suggested friends and things like that. I don't know. It's just weird like that. I know there's settings for that to turn off and all that. But I feel like, yeah, even when I turn that off, it still doesn't do... I tried turning that stuff off. I still get weird nuances where my contacts show up. I can't do anything about that. It's like names and stuff of people that, are just friends of mine. They might want to remain private. Because as you can see, I want to be able to scroll through my Facebook like this when I'm on my lives. So here's the new one. Oh, great. Come on, man. It doesn't... It seems like that's the same link. That's making me angry. Come on, man. I go through this one. Yeah, whatever. I gotta move on. I thought it would change the actual text that was in the window there. Turn that one down. Let's move that. See, that one says it. So I wanted to say just a fictional world where a total nobody tells everybody what to do. And that's the state of will. I got my own little state house. I'm like this president of the fictional world. Because that's really the best I could ever do. It's kind of laughable when anybody would think that they could be president. I think that's really kind of why it's so limited and the choices are so limited, because the qualifications to really understand it all, I think most people don't understand, how difficult or even simple it may be. Depending on which way you swing, you could see it as really difficult and you could see it as overly simple. And too simple for you. That simplicity of a job would just you'd be boring. Just telling everybody what to do all the time. I mean, I could see how that would get boring. You know what I mean? I don't think I could manage that. If I was actually a president, like of the United States, I could not just sit around doing nothing, man. I couldn't be not with the people. Like, check this out. If I was the president of the United States, get a load of this. Get a load of this. This is my first campaign promise, okay, in the state of will, and out here in the, if you were to, just play pretensies. You just play pretensies, and then now we're not just talking about some fictional world, we're talking about the real one, that if you put me into the White House, oh shit, come on. Oh great. The first thing I would really do, and I think that this is the first day one policy, in the fictional world, Google's been doing this a lot, so I don't know, it has nothing to do with really the fact that I'm streaming. Google has just been like this lately. It's like taking forever to load up. But one of the things when you become president is you get this authority to change the landscape in the landscaping at the White House. And I've been outside the White House. I've been there. I visited not extensively, just one time. Yeah, it was just one time. And then I was near the White House. I walked near the White House once on over here by the Washington Monument and whatever. But then, there's only one other time I actually walked right up near the White House while I was in town there. Where's it at? There you go. And I was over here in this park here. I was over on this side, and I think let me see. I came across this way, up this way, ended up at the park just chilling outside the White House over here. So I've been there. But here's one of the things I would tell you as, commander-in-chief and in charge of the White House grounds. My first policy, not really my first policy, but first groundskeeping decision. Oh wait, we're too far back, aren't we? That was way too far back. Whoops. And I don't know. People may not like this idea. Oh wait, they cut off the street completely. You can't even get like a Google view anymore. That's crazy. Look at that. But because I think that I would be such a popular president, I got nothing to fear. There's nothing to be worried about. That nobody's gonna really want to, do anything because why would you be scared? What's there to be scared of? If you don't have any bad intentions, why be scared? So really, well, I guess we got to go over the park side, I guess, because you can't see the Pennsylvania street side. The Pennsylvania, I wonder why they would take the Google view out of it. I mean, I can understand like restricting people from maybe walking there. That makes perfect sense. Let's get the north to south fixed here again. Okay. I guess got to go over to the park side, man. Where you at with the park side? You get to like right either way. Oh, I guess it's right here. Maybe you see photos and whatnot. Hopefully it's just a street view. Hey man, I'm just trying to get a visual representation of what I'm talking about. There you go. You can kind of see it. So my groundskeeping decision, because I'm not going to be scared. Why would you be scared? Because you know what? All the policies that follow in my presidency, I wouldn't have to be scared of people. I would tell them to take this gate down. Take the fence down. I'm not scared of my people. You know what I mean? I'm not scared of my people. I'm not going to do things that make me scared of my people. I have this security gate. The security itself just kind of puts on this, it's a weird thing in nature that the more security you put up means that maybe, there's this thing in nature and physics too. It's a mathematical equation when you look at it. But, I guess that would be the first policy decision. I don't know about what kind of trees and stuff I'd put on there, what I'd do with the rose garden or anything like that. I have no clue what I would be doing with any of that. But the first thing I would do is I would just take that security gate down, I guess, and just go ahead and let people up on the south lawn, man. Let people enjoy this grass and this. Look, man, you could go do a little tee up, man. I guess you got to reserve your tea time. That could be a revenue generator. What is this? Look at this. There's all kinds of things, man, that we could do here. And if we just have cool staffers and let's get some cool people running the government, it's like you could spend time shooting hoop with the Secretary of State or something. You know what I mean? We're just out here balling and having a good time instead of worrying so much. Because, That's the state of will right there. You know, that's the kind of thing I'd be looking forward to. If you know, people talk about having a president with balls. I think that right there, is that not president with balls right there for you righties? Right? You guys wanted a president with balls. Did he have the balls to take that fence down? All right. Do we got anybody? Nobody. Well, I just sort of appeal to the mic at this point. I feel like I'm getting a little bit better. I try to shoot this almost video mode where I get the gist of what I'm talking about right away. I didn't read it. We should read it. I should read what I wrote here. Okay, so you got state of will, just a fictional world where a total nobody tells everybody what to do, and it works. Is it really possible for a conservative to join a progressive movement? I guess I should, these are questions. And I should add viewers. Can a progressive support policy and systems that create popular solutions for conservative voters and progressive voters? Can policy engage both spectra? Can it happen? Can we come up with policies that we're basically sort of compromising? There's a compromise. Can we compromise? It's really kind of a major question. I guess I could put it that simply. Is compromise possible? We can compromise, I think. I think that's really what the backbone of what we're doing here with our Constitution and everything else. It's all just based on compromise. Everybody has to sort of compromise. And, yeah, you can please some of the people all of the time. And you can please all of the people some of the time. But you cannot please all of the people all of the time, you see? And that's where there's a group of people among us that just feel like, for some reason we're supposed to attain the impossible and satisfy everybody at once. And I guess, some people would say, oh, well, that's the progressive. And, you're really just sandbagging at that point. You're sandbagging. You're ruining a chance to connect with people. And, that's where I'm coming from. I'm saying this is a state of will. I have been around the block. Okay, I've been around the block. Okay, I've lived in rural Alaska, among the most conservative of conservatives, the ones that deserve to talk some conservative shit because they're living it. These are some hardcore, rugged men out here in Alaska, and what they do out on the slope, at least the ones that get paid the most. They work up here in the north slope and shit. They all fly up here and they work in these oil fields up here on these platforms. Hardcore, rugged dudes. Or you got the fishermen. You got fishermen that risk their lives out here in the Prince William Sound. And also the Cook Inlet over here. You got people who just live their lives, man. These are rugged dudes up here. And yeah, plenty of them are conservative. It's like conservative heaven. If you can handle the cold and you're a conservative, go there. Go up to Alaska. Get your ass up there. Because they're losing ground. I'll tell you right now. Politically, they're losing ground. Remember, you just got the first Democrat in the House of Representatives out of... Alaska only gets one seat in the House, and now it's a Democrat for the first time in ever, maybe. But from my perspective, I think that's awesome. The fact that it's a native to Alaska, someone who's native, is exactly what it should be. There is not enough native representation in our Congress, man. There's not enough of it. I think, there's a part of my heart that wants to say it should just be equal, flat out equal, man. For every colonialist, type representation, we have an equal representation from the native population. Because they should have just as much say about what's going on as anybody else. And they're not given enough say. And how I guess you would expand Congress by, you add seats and lower the pay. Without it being, we're trying to do cost neutral. See, this is the fucked up thing with the progressive like me is I grew up in the Clinton era, where Clinton was on this mission to balance the budget, and he achieved it. And it's literally that's the last time we've even heard about it. Ever since, well, I guess maybe John Kerry brought it up briefly about the direction that changed and that we blew the chance to pay off the debt. You know, instead just kind of rubber band the other way. So yeah, you got your fiscal conservatives out there. You got your all kinds of like conservative ideologies. And when I talk about, listen, let's look at the words here. You know, is it really possible for a conservative to join a progressive movement? You know, I was talking about the school venture yesterday. School venture, you know, an education policy that, you know, it could satisfy the needs of both the left and the right, where you're creating a possible bolstered funding for education by making education more cost neutral, by making it a video game. And that kids, and at least the kids that can function and do the proper things through this video game and get their lessons done and do their homework, could probably get that all done real fast, you know, real quickly, just all through a video game. We discussed that in the video yesterday. You know, and that, I think that is also sort of like a conservative, progressive compromise, where, you know, conservatives sort of compromise that, yeah, we're going to bolster education, and yeah, we're going to turn school into video games, you know, that your public education is now just comprised in a mission-based video game that you can just anybody can log into. And that's where I said it can become cost neutral, is that when you open, you can have your special network for the kids, and it's all regulated and secure, but outside of that, you would have a whole nother network for everybody else, and everybody else pays a subscription fee. Everybody, you know, pays to level up in other certain regards, I guess, when it comes to colleges and adding expansion packs and all this other stuff that would come with having general education as a video game. Yeah. And I think that opens the world to a lot of different possibilities. And if we're able to save money in the federal budget, it opens up that spending to other things, or I guess you go cost neutral and bring down the amount we spend for you fiscal conservatives, right? That's what I'm saying. I think the fiscal conservatives would like the idea that if this works, we're able to cut a lot of the funding we have to put into the education without actually lowering the standards. Do you know what I'm saying? That we could actually raise the standards, because if it becomes cost neutral and then a surplus is created, that allows the government to bolster the funding. Do you see what I'm saying? Right? Does it not? So you're able to bolster the funding and keep trying to keep it cost neutral and see how far you could take the funding, you know, and see how much you can fund it and still keep it cost neutral. You know? And start adding. I'm talking about stuff like kids who are doing well in school, getting just free stuff, man. You're getting bomb-ass grades, going through the game and doing this and that, that the government straight up just rewards you by sending you new cool peripheral gear to keep your career going. You know what I mean? That when you see, I think there's totally algorithms that can be designed that when you see people go in a certain way, the government could just try to, invest in that instead of doing this case by case, sprawled out, network of kids everywhere, just splatter monkey everywhere. That's the system we have right now. We have the splatter monkey system. Just throw the monkeys everywhere and see what happens. Got to drive them on school buses. Well, that creates jobs for school. And I went over that. That if you support the bus drivers, and if you support the mechanics, and if you support all those people that have those jobs, that, if this goes through the video game school thing, if you really support those people in their jobs, then just go vote and make more public transportation accessible. You know what I mean? Go invest those funds in public transportation so that those people still have those jobs. You see what I'm saying? And if we actually make education somewhat cost neutral, through the school venture thing, I should bring up the page. I gotta bring up the page. School venture. All right, there it is. I really got to do something about the imagery I got to change it. I got to change the imagery maybe, and I got to maybe I don't know. Do I have to really reinvest in any text here? I think I summarized it pretty damn well. That's my thing is literature. So I'm able to, and if you need somebody to do this for you, I could do it. Throw me something, I might be able to write it a little bit better than you can. I should be doing that for a career. I should be literally doing work from home, freelance writing, and I'm just too stupid to manage it. I need a fucking agent or something. Yeah. It's like I'm a really good writer. It's just one of those things, man. Yeah, I think everybody falls in this category in some places, man. It's like you're really great at certain things, but then you're kind of stupid in other areas. It's like, yeah, as far as just having the guts to take risk, I think that's where my stupidity lies, is that, I just don't have the guts to take risks. So in that way, I'm stupid. That when it comes to taking certain risks, tangible risk, I'm stupid in that way, I'm done with the planning. I'm done with the execution. Because I just spend the whole time worried about the risk. You know what I mean? I think that's really what throws me off. So we are a state of will. Just now got almost 30 minutes in. And we did cover just kind of the basic idea that is it really possible for a conservative to join the progressive movement? Because that's really the missing link in the population consensus right now, so we could just come together. I think there is a lot among us who kind of understand what's going on, that there's systems that want us to fight each other and be mad, and we just got to rise above that and realize that actually the great political minds and the people who have kept this country together are the ones that compromise the best, and they didn't compromise in tow with the special interest. They compromise with the voters and the people who are on the streets. You know what I mean? And that's gone away. We can admit that. But it doesn't have to be that way, As long as we can come back together and realize that, yeah, there's a body of conservatives over there. Maybe you want to call them centrists. Maybe they're ones that they know for sure that they're not racist. They know for sure that they don't really have all these weird sort of like propagandized qualities that sort of demonize the entire right instead of the ideological extreme right that is just sort of a paradigm that's you just learn in political science. It's a matter of science rather than observation. Do you see what I'm saying? Just knowing that it exists knows that there's something there. You don't have to actually observe it to know that it's there. You see what I'm saying? Because we know physically, because there's a left, there's going to be a right, and because there's an extreme left, there's an extreme right. You know what I mean? And I think in a lot of ways, a lot of people just don't take that to heart, that there's going to be people there. And the fact that I think there's a lot of people on the right that don't like being affiliated with people who are considered racist or considered part of these extreme groups that make them all look bad. Same with the left, and whether those extreme groups are really part of the body politic at all, rather than just people who just want to actually screw things up. They'd rather screw things up than make things better. Yeah. So yeah, does progressive conservative policy exist? Of course it exists. If we were to actually analyze what goes on today and the bipartisan stuff, that's what they would probably try to call. But I don't know if you get much progressive conservative policy. You get a lot of what you would call liberal or basic. I guess liberal's the new just centrist. You know what I mean? So essentially, yeah, the term liberal is just really sort of like a centrist liberal, you know what I mean? And the progressives are probably just a little bit more to the left, and it's not really so extreme left where you'd say, you're just full on communist. I guess I think a lot of people just it's the whole loaf approach. It's the whole loaf approach to negotiation, and it sucks to have to get caught up in this because a lot of people are just so reactionary that, okay, well, they create this boogeyman of communism, and then when people actually go and they read about it, that in text, it doesn't seem so bad from the poor side, the people who have to work, Of course that stuff's going to sound better, yeah? But of course, everybody understands there has to be a central management. I think a lack of central management is really where a lot of people understand that anarchism, as much as we want to do it, can't be done because it just doesn't work. You know what I mean? I think we all kind of understand that anarchism without, yeah, without a completely controlled environment, outside of a completely, and that's really kind of what happened. Is there's a lot of people that might feel like, they like the concept of anarchy, but they want to create anarchy through regulation. You see what I'm saying? And create this utopia through regulation when, yeah, you can't. You can't do it. You have to actually find a way to deregulate. You have to, you know what I mean? As much as, you know what I mean? As much as I'm saying, here you are listening to progressives say that word. When I talk about deregulation, I'm talking about regulations that, are actually hurting the entire group of people in so that only a few people can benefit. You see what I'm saying? And I think there's a lot of people that agree with that. I still get identify progressive, man, because I can't, because that's what it is. It's progress. I want to see. I'm more into the progress than the if, though. I guess is the way I like to say it. I'm more into the progress than the if part. I don't have to be in a group so much. I don't care about being lumped into the group of progressives, but I just like the idea of progress, and I think a lot of the conservative groups could probably understand that too. That we can come together and create policies that will be popular solutions for conservative voters and progressive voters. And, I guess, we're going to throw the liberals under the bus, all the centrists under the bus, and say that, hey, guys, it's weird to have to do this, but it's weird that, then what was it, the neoconservative juice, of what, the W era? Of the 2000s, of the post, in the post-millennial area, where, I don't know, somehow it's weird how there's a whole bunch of people on the left who never shook the idea that, what happened during the 2000s and stuff. And I think there's a lot of conservatives that turned their back on the idea of, like, what George W. Bush did. They're turned off by the idea that that whole war happened and people were just, roundly, known in history that it was just an unjust war that they all kind of went along with. So they're kind of pissed off about that too. But at the same time, they were all called neoconservatives, and then it's followed by also the neoliberal, which is kind of like the same ideology over on the other side. And that's all that's left of the centrist liberals, are these neoliberal types that really aren't much different than, the neoconservatives, And I don't know. I don't think I have to point that out. I never went to any college classes, by the way. I don't have any professors that I've ever studied under. I've never attended any great universities or anything like that. So you're not hearing any, campus propaganda, as any of the extreme right might put it, I guess. But turning school into a video game. I talked about that yesterday. And if it worked to where, we actually saved a lot of money on education, the quality of education actually went up, man. Who could argue with that? Teachers, all the teachers out there. You could say, okay, there's a bunch of teachers that are worried about losing their job. But you have to do the math, teachers, just remember your math classes that you took when you were becoming teachers. Remember those math classes you took, and we got to apply that knowledge now. And look at the math. If we create a system through a video game like this that actually lowers, well, let's go back and look at the U.S. Education budget, which is about $530 billion. If we're able to sort of maybe even eliminate that, make it cost neutral, or even make it a revenue generator by having this video game that's open to everybody, where they could just play the game and go through school and play Billy Madison, and not just play Billy Madison. They could play Billy Madison on some serious, what, middle-age kick, what, midlife crisis. Billy Madison on a midlife crisis who comes back and starts whomping through colleges and shit. You know, anybody, all ages. So I'm saying all ages can earn real school credit. Within the United States, I think we could do that pretty easily. Getting it global might be a little bit difficult, but I think there might be ways to make that happen too. And if we can actually get real school credit out to people all over the world through this program, and it's just a video game and everybody can just play it. And I guess, yeah, you got to work on bilingual. There's all kinds of jobs, integral jobs of making this game happen. Just getting it started. Like if I was president, I would do like, right after I tell people to remove the fence around the White House, we're going to go over to that Department of Education. We're going to say, hey, you got 18 months. Clock's ticking. Yeah, we're gonna spend some money. I guess I got to find some funds that I can just move around and spend and make this happen. To do like a little quick, like a Manhattan style project where we just get a lot of professionals together in one group, big ball, like 1 million people. We'll get 1 million designers and 1 million game designers, 1 million writers. Well, I guess, cohesively together would be 1 million. 1 million strong, 1 million strong personnel to put this game together real quick in 18 months to where school year 2026, this shit's off and running and kids can start going to school through a video game. You know what I mean? Instead of having to travel to the school. You know what I mean? Now, kids will fall through the cracks. The great thing about the ones that fall through the cracks is we're already prepared because we already have the buildings, man. You don't have to decommission every single school. You don't have to decommission, it was a good test, any schools, man. Any schools that you would think of anywhere. I'm trying to find, keep trying to zoom into an area I thought was focused and it's not focused. Or some school, maybe like here's some bad schools in Tacoma, man. Tacoma's like a fucked up place to go to school. So maybe this is a good test subject, or it would be way, 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 way cheaper for the government just to send everybody a computer. You start with the great computer. Every kid gets the great computer. I guess you got to probably try to work around with people with multiple kids and how to get that. Yeah, it's probably not that difficult. You don't have to send one computer for every damn kid if a house has 5 kids or something like that. You're obviously not going to do that. So one family's not going to get 5 computers because they got 5 kids, okay? But, I don't know, maybe. If they want to pay the power bill, I guess, right? But the idea is, yeah, the lessons and stuff would not be that hard. You would think that once a kid sits down at the game and stuff and just plows away at it, they're going to get through those lessons pretty quick. Yeah. It's not going to be difficult. I would. What the fuck they call this? Silas High School? What the hell is this? Somebody mismarked the damn map or something? The hell is this, man? This used to be Wilson High School. They changed the name. Was it a private school now or something? Damn. If somebody like changed it or something, huh? I would imagine that the name would change after all the there's like professional athletes that went to this damn school. Well, I guess Woodrow Wilson got canceled, huh? Damn. They changed the name. It's called Dr. Dolores Silas High School. What the hell is this? Whatever. I guess she paid for all the buildings, I guess, right? Yeah, the campus looks totally different. I used to go to high school here. It used to be Wilson High School. But either way, all these people don't have to, go to the damn campus anymore. But like I said, special needs kids, people who fall through the cracks, obviously they'd still have to go to the physical schools. I mean, and you'd have to still do like PE, physical education, intramural, community stuff. All that stuff could be fit into the campuses that are already there. They really expanded their football program. Look at that. These two fields were not there before. These were there. The courts were there. Uh, yeah, this is all kind of the same. This one for sure. I think this is new. Or this was all like a dirt path or something. I don't even think it was open for parking when I went there. I think all this other stuff's kind of been there. And I think they took out some buildings over here to build this new stuff that's like right here. And then this was there, and this greenhouse was always there. I remember taking this class, being in the class for the greenhouse. But they don't want you looking at it, man. What the hell is that? Worked just a second ago. Either way, nobody watching. But someday we're going to get, I don't know, I didn't want to boot this up to talk about school venture, but it just is probably the first example that I put out as a policy idea that, I guess I'm going to start spitting out these policy ideas that I think are going to appeal to both progressives and conservatives and people that might want to meet in the middle of the road and come up with policies that are going to benefit the people themselves, and here on the street, everybody else, to come to a neutral stand on a lot of maybe hot button issues out there, And it goes deeper. It goes way, way deeper. I mean, education, I guess education is really not that hot button of an issue. That's why this probably ends up being the first. But I guess it's there. It's a legacy issue, as you would call it, I guess, right? Gotta get some folks up on here. Because, just in basic, I got the questions up there. Can policy engage both spectra? Can the progressives out there, I know a lot of progressives with short fuses and just like, trying to act like you're not negotiating, I've seen plenty of progressives like that. I guess maybe I was like that, maybe, I could imagine being so adamant, especially during times like during the Iraq war and shit, just being adamant that, I'm against the war. Don't think it should have been started. Don't think people should be there. Shouldn't have to hear stories now about people hurt or, living in dismay, to this day because of those experiences, So we didn't have to experience all that. And I guess that was my stance for like the 2000s, I didn't really get into politics before, I guess, the Al Gore stuff, The whole Al Gore thing about the tie and it coming down to Florida and stuff, I think that's really the first time I ever got really mindset engaged in politics. I formed an opinion and said, that's pretty screwed up. It's pretty screwed up that maybe we should just do a whole new election when it's that close. I don't get why that's not the thing. And, the whole dimpled Chad thing, and it's like, I don't know, me, myself, in my own mindset, I instantly thought of like how that could be possible and how that could be screwed up, that people, you understand, dimpled Chads, and you're talking about, well, who handles the ballots? Who manufactures the ballots, And it's like, I hadn't even worked in that hardcore manufacturing, a hardcore setting like that yet when I'd really kind of figured this out back in like 2001. Then I started working at a newspaper. And then I started working in a newspaper where they were doing like the printing press and started seeing those processes and how that all happens. And it's like, then start thinking back about, okay, how would they handle ballots and stuff? If you're manufacturing, printing ballots and stuff, there's going to be machines that handle the perforations on those Chads, you know what I mean? So when there's dimpled Chads, there would be machines that made those dimples. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about the stuff back in 2000 with Al Gore, the Dimple Chad stuff down in Florida. That, you know. So after working with paper and working on the printing press and learning a little bit more about it, and I was thinking about even back then that, maybe the manufacturer had something to do with the fact that the Chads themselves couldn't be pushed all the way through the ballot, because it seems like a manufacturing flaw. That's really the first thing I thought. There's some sort of manufacturing flaw. It says I got one. Is it me? Yeah, it's probably me, because I'm on the page, so it says there's one watching. I didn't mean to do that. Let's put this back to the channel. And look at that, up to 203 subscribers. I appreciate all my subscribers out there. The number keeps going up and up and up. And I'm gonna get back to covering the Burning Man stuff. We're almost there. Wintertime's about turned its, about to turn the tables on winter here. When we start looking down on I think we're gonna start getting more news. There's probably already news, but yeah, then I'm gonna get started on it once I would dive in. I gotta check the map though. I don't think the news on the map's gonna be in until like March. You know what I mean? I think I was looking at the timetables. It's like March, April is when you're going to really find out about camp placement and who actually made sure they locked it in and all that. Could be as long as June, but maybe the long timers, I guess. People who are really into it will probably get, I don't know, I was reading it. Oh, I have to read it again. What all the parameters really were. And yeah. Let's see. I should turn that off so it doesn't show up as a view. Well, let's see where we at. What are we looking at? We got to get it onto here. There's me there. All right. Can't quite see. I got to make this just tinier, a little tinier. Now I feel better. There you go. All right, so we're going to come up with a new policy. I have a new policy. And I want to talk about it. But at the same time, I guess I have to start a new video. Let's start a new stream about it if I want to talk about something else, I guess. Because this is very specifically about, if it's really possible for a progressive conservative or a conservative progressive policy. And I guess I get pretty wild with these policies and these ideas. And it's gonna be a pretty wild ride when we start talking about this. I got more ideas and more stuff that affects a lot of people everywhere. And I just need some people listening. Just relying on people to come back and watch the video. That's I don't think that's tangible. It was with the Burning Man stuff. People just kind of kept, the video sucks. So it's like, yeah, it's hard. One guy is even like, he didn't even watch the full 2 hours. I love the comments where they try to act like they wasted a lot of time watching it. Then I go to the average and it's just, either way. Yeah, it looks like it's maybe break time. And take a little break. Oh shit, my camera went out. That's why. Let's do it.